This segment of the news is brought to you by Finance of America. For all your mortgage needs, call Amy Childress or Shannon Keller at 702-372-6607.
After a large vessel stroke, how long does it take a patient to get treatment in order to prevent long-lasting effects? A new study in JAMA found that a shorter time to treatment after a stroke is critical to having the best recovery. But just how long does a patient have to restore blood flow to the brain?
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in the U.S. and the 2nd leading cause of death worldwide. Each year, more than 750,000 Americans experiences a stroke.
So it's critically important for patients to recognize the warning signs of stroke, get to the hospital as soon as possible, and for doctors, nurses, and health systems to then rapidly treat patients when they arrive.
Dr. Jeffrey Saver from UCLA and co-authors reviewed the outcomes of over 1,200 patients experiencing acute ischemic stroke in 5 large randomized clinical trials. Some patients received standard medical therapy, others received standard therapy plus treatment with a thrombectomy device. The authors found that the sooner the device, which pulls clots out of the affected artery and helps restore blood to the brain, is used, the better the patient's overall recovery.
There was some benefit of therapy up to 7 1/3 hours after onset. That's an important new aspect. If you get the artery open at 3 hours, then 65% of patients will be able to live independently 3 months later. If it takes 8 hours to get it open, then only 45% will be able to live independently. It makes a major difference in outcome.
It is critical for the public to be aware of the signs of stroke. Dr. Saver says use the acronym FAST. If you see facial drooping, arm weakness, and speech difficulty, it's time to call 911.
Often the patient can't make the call themselves because the stroke's affecting their speaking or their ability to recognize they're having a stroke. So it's very important for family, friends, witnesses. If you see someone having stroke-like symptoms, call 911. Every minute matters.
Laura Berger, The JAMA Report.
And Dr. Saver says hospitals should use this procedure within 75 minutes of a patient's arrival.
Well, more than 7.3 million Americans have already voted. Democrats have improved their positions in North Carolina, Nevada, and Arizona compared to this point in 2012. Republicans, meanwhile, have good news in Iowa. Republicans have improved their position there over 2012. And in Florida, where the last comparable data comes from 2008, Democrats have cut deeply into the traditional Republican advantage in early ballots cast so far. These findings represent absentee ballots submitted and early votes cast through Tuesday across 35 states where data are available. News 46 spoke to Nye County Clerk Sandra Merlino about our local turnout.
Let's see, we had, I think, 1,091 on Saturday, 1,096 on Monday, and then today we're over 1,100 and something. We're not done, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it's been
still going strong.
Yes, and you know what? I have to just say how wonderful the voters have been. They have been so great. The lines have been long. They've been patient. They've been great, and we appreciate it.
They seem like they were kind of just sitting around, kind of talking about their preferences, talking a little bit about voting today. I was walking down the hallways here, and they seem to just be quietly waiting.
They are, and like I said, it makes our job so much easier when everybody's happy, they're not complaining, and we apologize for the lines, but we're just grateful for the turnout.
Because this is a small room. On election day, you have a larger area to vote.
We do. We have large polling places, the high school gym, the Bob Roode Center, and unfortunately I can't get those for 2 weeks for early voting. So this is where we are. Maybe in 2 years we'll figure something else out.
Nye County's always kind of keen on early voting, aren't they?
They are. I think we have more early voters than we do regular election day voters.
So how long do you think the wait is that these people are waiting?
You know, it just depends. It depends on the voters that are in there. Sometimes they need assistance, so it's a little slower. But if you have voters that go fast, we get them right in and right out. So there's no telling.
I heard people saying that. Don't be discouraged by the lines because it seems to go pretty quickly.
It has gone fast. I think most people know what they want to vote. They get in and get it done.
So this goes through what day?
November 4th.
And then election day.
Yes, election day. And I know everybody's going to be so excited for that to be over. So,
November 8th. And the polls are open from 7 to 7 then.
on election day, correct.
And so these are open what time?
10 to 6.
And then in Tonopah?
8 to 6, but on Saturdays we're only open from 10 to 2.
10 to 2 in Tonopah, right there at the Nye County Courthouse.
Yes, clerk's office.
So tell me about the absentee ballots.
You know, we've had a lot of people ask for absentee too. That's above average, but I don't know how many we have out there right now because people are still asking for ballots. So they're returning them constantly and we're sending them constantly. And the last day to request absentee is Tuesday prior to the election. So next Tuesday is the last day.
All right, so they need to get those in. If people miss their Sanford ballots at home, they need to know what the measures are, they need to know what's going on. How can they find out?
Not only do I have them online on my website, but they can always call our office. We can email. We've got extras here at the polling places, so whatever works.
So they can read them out ahead of time and find out what's going on.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, the Veterans Stand Down was held at Home Depot on Saturday. Here's Linda and Bill Wright.
Today we're having our Veterans Stand Down. And as you can see, we have a lot of veterans out here and we have a lot of different organizations coming out to offer their services to our veterans.
Bill, give me your thoughts on this.
Well, I wish they've done it years ago because now you can get jobs, you can get clothing, haircuts, everything.
Even a shower.
Yeah, even a shower.
Home Depot's even serving the veterans out here today, aren't they?
Yes, they offered their parking lot for us to use, and they're actually cooking the hamburgers and hot dogs for us.
You have every type of organization you can possibly imagine out here, including getting the veterans some help with possibly some service, questions answered through the DAV.
The DAV, we have a veteran service officer from the VA here. We have Veterans of Foreign Wars here. We have the Eagles here.
Even the veterans.
Even veterans bus services here to get our veterans to and from their doctor's appointments.
How frequently do you have this event?
We have it every year.
So right here at the Home Depot, I know we've had a couple different locations, but Home Depot seems to be the location that it's going to stay at, right?
Yes, Home Depot is our central location. We seem to get more veterans to be able to come to this location.
All right, more of your local news when News 46 returns.